Welcome to the show both feared and revered by man and beast, the heliosblog. Today, this girl that dated Tristan Tate thinks that men should pay for everything. What a surprise.
The reason she's alone is because she's difficult.
Women are not accepting the bare minimum.
Women fuck men they respect.
All the women who say things like, I'm strong, independent, I don't need no man, like, y'all impress me.
Women just gaslight each other and say what they want to hear.
Dating Tristan puts her absolutely at the top of the incorruptible ladder, by the way.
The reason she's alone is because she's difficult.
Sorry.
Octavius. All right, go ahead.
Oh, 1 second. It's still blocking the screen. Alright.
Either way, we've been speaking for 3 years, and he was always very nice, very respectful. We had very long conversations, back and forth, like friends. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to go to Romania. He offered to pay for everything. I refused, because I was like, you know what, I want to feel safe, want to pay for my own hotel. I do not know this guy. Just that was the reason. So he hit me up there every day, like, you know what, when I'm going to see you, I want to have anal sex with you. And I'm like, bro.
What the?
So I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. First of all, never done that. I said, take a bitch to dinner first. I have all the screenshots for this, either way. So, and then he was, yeah, we'll take you out to dinner. And I was like, yeah, that's better, that's nice. And then a few days later, he was like, come over to my house, I will call you an Uber. And I was like, bro, when is the Uber arriving? Because I was in this hotel. He said 30 minutes. I was like laying in bed. It was evening. I was like, fuck, I have 30 minutes to get ready. So I did. I ran downstairs, got into the Uber. I sent the location to my friends, obviously. But it was not at all what I was expecting. I was expecting this gentleman in a suit, like he always is. He was like in a sweatpants, hair is messy, everything was total messy. He looked like a total uncared for person.
And yet, who did she choose? Who did she go to a different city for? Who did she go to a different country for? Who did she agree to go in the Uber for? Who did she... Beta Billy? Or this guy?
But I walked in, and the first thing he greeted me, and then he turned around to all his cars. He was like, this is the world famous Lana, but you already know that, right? And then he showed all his cars, and I was like, I'm not interested in this. I didn't look you up. He said, why not? He got angry. So I was like, because I'm here for you. Then we went to this office you always see in his podcasts and everything. But it was so confusing to me, because it was like this big door with locks and everything, big chairs. If you sit on those chairs, you cannot see that somebody is sitting. You have to remember that for later on. So we sat down. And he just started talking about how much money you're going to give his assistant for all her work, because he's in Dubai right now and everything. And I was like, all right, where's this conversation going? Because I'm not
Okay, so he's talking about, look at how rich I am, cool.
interested in all the money and everything. I'm just like, hey, how are you? Nice to meet you. And then he was like, do you want something to drink? I said, yeah, that would be nice. And he called his assistant. So I was like, why do you not get it yourself? He said, why shouldn't I? I said, because this is arrogant. Then he got...
I see. So, by the way, by her accent, she's what? Nordic? She's like Swedish or something? Again, the dyed red hair and the ridiculously low-cut top should tell you everything you need to know. But anyway.
frustrated a little bit more. And he just kept on talking about his money and everything. So I called him a little bit out. I said, you walk funny. You have a limp when you walk. You talk stupid. Are we going to have a normal conversation or not?
So what is she saying? You should be in my frame, loser. Do it my way, idiot. Yep, that's going to go over well.
And then he was like, sure, a little bit. And there was a light bulb at this room. It was a different color. All the lights were white and that color was brown. Because I was so bored with his conversation about money. I was like, hey, that light bulb is stupid. He's got off the chair, he ran down the room. He was like, oh, I'm gonna fix it, like so insecure, not what I expected at all. I've been speaking to him for 3 years. Then he
Full disaster. Oh man. Sounds like a person who's been a bit A-worded, you know, by his father maybe.
sat down, and then out of nowhere he was like, Andrew is awake, panicking. And I was like, yeah, so what's the deal? Then the door knocked. He said, we have to go, Andrew is awake. Then he said, and Andrew just walked in with his laptop, sat down next to me, and he looked like, hi. Didn't expect me at all, gave me a hand. Very friendly, I have to give them that. And then Tristan was like, we have to go. He was so scared because Andrew was like, we have to work, get her out. Very scared. So I was like, hey, is Andrew running this whole show? And he was like, yeah, but now you have to go. So we went outside, and he said, thank you for your time. Can you please answer all your messages? Because I'm a slow texter.
So, okay. I don't know if you know this, but girls have 3 categories for men. Okay? There's invisible, maybe, and Helios. Clearly, based on the way she's talking, Tristan is a maybe for her. He's not actually a Helios. Because she's not really going with everything that Tristan says. And again, by the way that Tristan was talking, he didn't exactly do a good job. Not caring, like being nonchalant. It felt like he was trying a bit too hard to get laid, which girls don't like. It pushes them further into the maybe category.
And then I was in the Uber the way out, and then he keeps on texting me, and I was like, you know what, it's not going to work, it's not the vibe, and he agreed. And then he started to be a little bit ugly at WhatsApp, and I said, you need to calm down, you look like a fish. And yeah, that was the little story of me and Tristan Tate. I did text him after that, and he tried to be ugly a little bit, and then my friends texted him like, shut up, because we will put you in the truck. And then he got a little bit scared, and he told me like, your friends are scary. And the next day, my friends told him that like, calm down, because we will put you in the trunk. And the next day he was in the trunk of the police wagon because they got arrested again. So that's funny. So yeah, they were very respectful, but it was so weird. He's so scared of his brother a little bit. I will look it up. I think it's April, May, June, the time. So I have to look it on my Instagram. You can see the picture.
Wait, you said the day after he got arrested again?
No, like last week he got arrested. My friends texted him again, last week, like, be nicer because we will put you in the trunk. And the next day he was in the trunk of the police car. That was funny.
Yep. Wishing harm on other people. Yep, that's very funny, very attractive.
So he was very nice, respectful. His brother came in and he got so scared. For some reason, you have to get out. And he's awake. And I was like, does your brother run the whole show? And he's like, yeah. Now you have to get out. So he was very sweet, very respectful, but I'm just wondering if he's not more the social media figure. I think his brother, Andrew, is the total brains. He walked in, he had that very manly era, very sexy manly. You felt it right away. And
so that's like so she's Helios for Andrew, but not for her brother. Sad.
Tristan was just there like that puppet just sitting. I don't know. I think Andrew is the real brain, for sure.
You see? Alpha male versus beta male. There it is. Just in the description alone. You can tell. And again, for different girls, different guys are alpha and beta, right? So there it is.
I don't know. I was so confused myself because we were speaking for 3 years. And I asked him, why do you speak for me for 3 years? It's not like a hookup thing and everything.
How often would you guys speak on the phone?
Also, yeah. And then
How often would you guys text each other?
Almost weekly for 3 years. And he was like,
freaking disaster.
Yeah, that time I was more on the phone because now I cannot do that anymore because the police is searching my phone and stuff like that. I'm like, sure. For the people who not believe me, I've ever seen it, so.
I believe her. I think that's the most believable story I've ever heard on here, actually.
But again, it's not like he was disrespectful. We just got, when Andrew came, he was like, whoa, we need to, and that was so surprising. And he looked like shit when I arrived. And I don't know.
First impressions matter, guys.
So the story is you met up with him and you were slightly underwhelmed, and that's the extent.
No, I was just not expecting this kind of persona, like a little scared persona or something. It was so weird, just talking about money, how much money you're going to give his assistant, his cars, very arrogant, like, this is famous Lana, you already knew that, right? And I was like, no, I do not watch your shit.
But I mean, don't you go in kind of expecting that they're going to talk about money and...
No,
I mean,
because
kind of
3 years is a long time, right? I told him that too. Except on WhatsApp, I told him, like, you know what, 3 years is a long time. Obviously, you want to show your house a little bit. That's a normal thing, like, welcome to my house. I understand that, that's fine.
Sure.
But when you sit down, you're going to bash about the money you're giving your assistant. I do not know your assistant. I do not know what the police thinks is going on. Why do you want to talk that to?
Again, you see, guys, best strategy for seduction is let her talk about herself, and you just reflect what she says back at her. She never cares about other people, right? Like, what is she actually saying here? She's actually saying, why aren't we talking about me? I don't care about you. That's what she's saying. And it's really funny because she's just a girl, right? She's just a girl that, she's dressed like, what's the name? Aquaman's wife or whatever. She's got the dyed red hair and the gold top, And she thinks that she's way above, like a multi-millionaire, right? But all she is really is genetically lucky, right? And she acts like she's all that in a bag of potato chips. Like, do you see, guys? And again, all he had to do was just talk to her about her, and there'd be literally no issue at all. But no, he talked about himself the whole time. That's not going to work with any girl, right? Especially not on the first date.
To me, I was like, can we not have a normal drink? Ask me what my favorite color is or something.
You see?
So I have a question. Did he tell you he wanted to do anal with you before or after you got to Romania?
Before. No, lie. It's when I arrived.
Okay.
Wait, Nicolette, can you scoot your mic that way a little bit?
When I arrived.
That way, yeah.
And let's be honest, that man is sexy as fuck. You cannot deny it.
Who, Tristan?
Yeah, he's tall. He looks like shit when he arrived, but he's not ugly. I will never say that. He's tall. He has his biceps bigger than my fucking head. He's tall. He's masculine, for sure. But I just didn't expect.
Be attractive. Don't be unattractive.
Such a
well, you gotta make up your mind, right? He's a scared, timid coward 1 second.
Yeah, I would never go to him again.
Fish, and then in the next second, he's a buff stud Chad. Like, which is it here?
Of course, he has muscles.
Be attractive. Don't be unattractive. That's what it is.
You cannot deny it. It has nothing to do with his personality. If somebody has muscle, it's muscle.
Well, what did you expect the personification of a man who's under massive investigation and is meeting up with somebody he's been talking to for 3 years, who's a friend of his? Of course, he's probably going to be nervous and probably have all sorts of things which are going on, right?
I did, and I had that in mind. But I think when you sit down in a normal...
Expecting girls to be logical like that is not gonna happen.
conversation in a locked up room, no mobile phones off, everything. It would be nice to have a normal conversation. You do not really know me, right? So why would it make sense to tell me how much money you give?
That's really weird, though, right? That's self-contradictory. So what do you mean he doesn't really? You've been talking for 3 years. I thought he doesn't really know you.
No, not.
Well, yeah, because when she says no, she means no in the biblical sense, right? And guys really are invisible to girls until they've had bedroom fun, and not just once, until they've had bedroom fun twice. Guys invisible.
In that way, if you never meet with somebody...
What way? I'm sorry. I feel like if I've been talking with somebody for 3 years, that I would get to know them pretty well, right?
Yeah, it's not like a very deep conversation we had. Obviously, every week something like, hey, what you doing? And he went to this and that. It's just like friendly conversation like you are saying. But I was not expecting...
Well, wait, I thought that you were talking to him on the phone.
Also, yeah, just about his way, his life and everything, but not seriously, not about his money. Why would he do that? That's private, right?
Yeah, no.
I didn't expect that.
Before you kind of pivot to the next thing, let's see if we can get this figured out.
It's Swedish, by the way, to not like that, to not like that arrogant display of being superior. Like, it's very American to be like, look at how good I am, look at how much better than everyone I am, look at what I've accomplished, coming out hot and heavy, right? But with a Swedish girl, she wants the guy to be modest, to like, not really admit like how much better he is than everyone, but to be better than everyone, right? It's just a different culture. And she's expecting him to fall into her frame, which she's used to, which she's been raised with. And he's not going to do that because that's not who he is.
When you say I was talking to this guy weekly, does that mean you were like, oh, hey, what's up, Tristan? How are you? And he went, good. How are you? And you said, good. And like that was the extent of most of your conversation. Is that what you mean? Or did you have in-depth conversations
where he was
about
going, what he was doing with the girls, stuff like that? Just like, I do not know if I can...
So he was friend-zoned. That's what I'm hearing.
Say everything here. But it's like more than just, hey, how are you? And then finish conversation. We did not have sexual conversations at all, but more about life, like when he was younger, puberty, everything, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Like a normal human being. So that's why I was expecting just like what you were saying, like a little bit more friends vibe. And then I arrived, he only talked about money and his cars. And I was like, confusing.
Well, I don't know why that's confusing, right? So he's showing you his life, right?
Yeah, but if you never talk to somebody about your finances, why would you, when you meet somebody in person for the first time, sit down with this person and be like, I'm going to tell you how much I pay my assistant?
Yeah, it's like the traditional dating advice, right, is don't lead with your wallet, right? And the reason you don't lead with your wallet is because, well, first of all, it doesn't work, as you can see here. Girl just puts you in the beta category immediately. Like, that's the easiest way to get, like, friend-zoned or beta-zoned or whatever you want to call it, right? Because that doesn't trigger the attraction triggers, right? You need to be talking about her or, like, again, girls aren't that sophisticated, right? Like, they might say that they are, right? But really, all they want to do is talk about nonsense and then have bedroom fun, right? Especially at the beginning phase of a relationship. You reveal those amazing things about yourself slowly over time. You don't. That's not a conversation for the beginning of a relationship, of any kind of relationship. Especially if you're trying to get laid. You got to keep it light, right? Grab her a coffee, sit her on the couch, talk about random crap, you know, reflect back her emotions back at her, and then have some bedroom fun. That's literally what the first meetup is for, or whatever. You know, you meet up for half an hour, and then the second meetup is for bedroom fun. If she is a bit cold at the start, you got to have at least one date in before.
When I see her again, like, that's, bro.
Why would that? I don't understand why that's problematic. That's him talking about
I didn't say
his
it was
work.
Problematic. I just
Isn't
personally found it a little weird.
Hang on, isn't that first date territory to talk about work?
Actually, no. In traditional first dates where, you know, a guy has no idea how to talk to girls, it is. But not with a guy who actually knows what he's doing. So Tristan revealed his lack of experience. Perhaps he's only been getting by on money alone. I mean, it is possible, right? If you have looks and money, you're going to get laid. But he doesn't have game, clearly, by what he doesn't have strategy, right? He doesn't have tactics to use during first dates. He brute forces it, and most of the time it works, because the girl's like, well, he's kind of lame, but you know what? He's hot, so whatever. He's hot and has money. Some girls can rationalize that away.
You can tell me what kind of work you do, but I'm not interested in you throwing money around, no.
Yeah, but
again, she's Swedish, so that's why.
But he didn't.
She culturally can't say that that's what she likes and acts that way, even though she would like it, just not initially, because she would feel cheap and like she cheated her own culture effectively.
I didn't actually hear any part in the story where he threw money around.
Money around, like what he's giving all the people. That's
yeah, he's talking about his job and his work, right?
But it was not talking about. It was not talking about his money. It was like, she's in Dubai, hiding for the government. I'm going to pay her this amount, and just like, why do you want to tell me all this? I just was not there for that. I just wanted to be friends, like we were on WhatsApp, like normal, nice, good vibes.
Well, what was the nature of your conversation?
So this guy who is, I would say, unfairly often targeted because of his brother.
I agree.
Right, has a friend who he's been talking to for 3 years who finally comes into town. He gets a chance to meet her. He's talking to her, and he has somebody he feels like he can confide in. So he starts confiding in you, and you're punishing him for that?
I do not say it's confiding into. Let's be honest. A man like that, he told me that that's 500 women over a week or something. So it's not that I'm a very good friend. I will never see me as a very good friend. I never would tell me that or something. Think if you have your friends.
So did you just fly out there for a booty call?
No.
Well, then what the hell?
She'd never admit to that.
What were you out there for?
Meeting him. But not for a booty call. If I was there for a booty call, I would say, yeah, let's fuck.
You're not friends, right? You don't consider him to be a friend.
She wouldn't say that. No girl would say that. That's disingenuous at best.
He doesn't think he considered you to be a close friend. He talked about sex the second you touched down. Like, what the hell were you out there for? Be honest.
Meeting
what were you
him
out there for?
In a person. I wanted to see the person behind.
Stop the cap. Stop the freaking cap.
All the social media. And I told him that if I was there for a booty call, I would say yes, please fuck me. No, I did not.
You wouldn't say that in a text. No frickin' way. That's not step one. Girls don't start like that. Even girls that are hell yes don't start like that. They don't start speaking that way. That's like spicy content dialogue. That's not how real life works. Even if she would sleep with you within half an hour of meeting, she's not going to say it explicitly. That's not how girls talk. It's just that's a lie. Bold-faced lie. She'd just say maybe or something, you know, with a smile, which is what it implies everything it needs to imply, right?
What? Yeah, so
if she was interested, right? She wouldn't say, you know, or she'll say something like "we'll find out" with like a emoji or something. She'd never say like unless she's a lady of the night, right?
So then your intention, did he pay to fly you out?
No. I
Cop.
paid for everything myself. No.
Well, I mean, that was a good decision. If he knew that you were gonna like take it on a road show and slander him
And
everywhere,
I told him that I want
just
to
for
meet
meeting
you
up,
for
just for meeting up
for
with
you.
you one time.
No, I just told him that I want to meet you for like your character behind everything else. Because on WhatsApp we spoke very respectfully.
Yeah, she was doing that to cover her own behind, right? So she had the cover story just in case things went bad. So she had plausible deniability for why she was there. That's why she said what she said. The real reason is she did want to sleep with him, and he did meet the attraction triggers, and because you saw how she talked about him. But then when they met in person, he ruined it by being unattractive, right? So again, there's two steps. Be attractive, don't be unattractive. He passed the first one, flying colors, failed the second one.
And that's why I ignored him and he said, hey,
Let's say that all of this, I'm just going to take you at face value and all of this did happen, right? What is the actual point, since the guy didn't actually do anything bad to you, of taking this story on the road and slandering his name? What is the point of that?
Is it really slandering?
She wants to show everyone, especially the girls all around and the girls on social media, that he's a beta male. That's what girls do. That's reputation destruction. That's what she's doing. It's like when a guy fails miserably with one girl in the friend group, all the girls in the friend group are no longer attracted to him. That's what's happening here, but on a wider scale. It's a evolved social behavior to keep bad genes from reproducing, from replicating.
It's just talking about a date. It's not very bad.
No, it's pretty bad. You said that.
Cajun_SRT donated $1,000. Pop champagne. Pop that bottle, Maddie.
Well, I think the point is it's very entertaining. It's an entertaining story, and it's her story, and she can share.
Yup, let's defend all women, no matter what they say or do.
Ask her about her
You
story.
asked about an
When we're all
entertaining
done, then
story.
you can chime in. So let us finish our conversation here. So how is it?
Did you call him gross?
How is it not slander? How's it not slander to run around and basically say, okay, this is all a persona, it's all a social media persona. He's basically a coward in reality. He's very timid. He's kind of has to be in obedience to his brother. It sounds like total slander. Like,
no, I didn't say that.
In the entirety of the story, you really never said a nice thing about the guy. Not a single nice thing.
She did. She said he had nice muscles.
I didn't say and slandered him. I said I felt like he was scared. I didn't say he is scared. I didn't say he was a coward. I said I feel.
That's plausible deniability. She's backpedaling. That's not what she said. Anyway.
It just seems like a non-story. Like nothing happened.
I was entertained, and she did say something nice. She said he was hot and had big muscles.
No, I'm just saying like.
After the story was
you
done,
asked about an entertaining story. I'm giving you a little bit entertaining. That's all I'm doing. I just tell you that I met him. That's all.
Well, the guy. This guy is a really high-profile guy. He's looked at by tens of thousands of people. You know he's looked at, and he's under scrutiny from tens of thousands of people. What would actually be the point of even regurgitating such a story?
Why not?
Except
Because
to
he's
slander and hurt
famous.
this guy's image. Like,
Why?
what would even be the point except to slander and hurt his image?
Why? But why do you tell this? Because you only say because he's famous and he's if he was not famous, like a nobody, you will all be fucking entertained right now.
The whole point of the conversation is to reveal female nature. Female nature revealed. Thank you. Also, she's got that entitled attractive girl persona, which I find to be repulsive. I find it to be abhorrent. But, you know, whatever.
Yeah, so what? What does that have to do with my line of inquiry?
No,
what
but why are you so much on? He's so famous. He's so this. Why does that even matter? Because if anybody here tells
because you weren't out there.
She could be German too.
Meet him because of any other reason.
I can meet every other man that I want and fly out. It would be the same story.
I thought you
you're
weren't
making
flying
a
out there
point.
because you wanted him. Now the story changes.
No, you're just making a point. Like, he's famous, you cannot do this. But if he was not famous, you will be like a fake man.
Okay, yeah, you wouldn't be out there to meet him if he wasn't famous, right?
Indeed.
I probably would, because he is not ugly. It's the same thing. You're just making...
Oh, she just admitted that Instagram is the world's biggest dating app, by the way. I would probably meet him because he's not ugly. You see? So she just told on herself. Notice. Guys, notice.
A point because he is famous. That's your point. If he was not famous, if I just would tell you a dating story... Not him, this same story, but a different man that's not famous. Are you okay? That's not famous.
Yeah, this guy, what's his name? Brian. Yeah, not Brixton. He's having trouble opening the champagne. It actually opens on its own. You just have to unscrew the metal, and the bottle will actually open on its own because of the bubbles that build up in the bottle. You just have to wait and push it a little bit. Nothing more is required. But anyway, let's end the video there. Hit the like, hit the sub, hit all for notifications. Buy my books like Hunter M, Adrian R, Tom and Bobby, Dylan, Renaissance Press, Brian, Andrew, Anna, Armani, and Nicholas. Shout out to you, most recent purchase of both my books, Strategist Guide to Seduction and Quotes to Live By. Thank you. If you'd like coaching, just message me at my email. That's theheliosblog@gmail.com. You can buy my books at bit.ly/heliosbooks. Thank you so much for listening, guys, especially if you listen to the end. I really do appreciate it. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time.